For months, I was completely baffled. I'm a guy in my 20s. I live alone on the fifth and top floor of an older apartment block, and I've had buzz-cut short hair for the last 10 years. Yet I kept finding long, light brunette hairs, at least 5 to 6 inches long, scattered all over my place. They were everywhere. On the bathroom floor, in the kitchen, on my clean clothes, on the couch, and most unsettlingly in the shower. A shower where running water hits the walls at least 5 times a week. I tried to convince myself that they were just sticking to my clothes at the gym or on the bus, but the reality was much darker. Everything changed one day this past April. I finished an early morning gym session and got a call from work telling me I had the day off. Happy to have the day to myself, I headed home. I decided to take the stairs instead of the elevator. Just as I rounded the corner from the 4th floor to the 5th, I ran straight into my 3rd floor neighbor's daughter. She's around 20, and we had never spoken a word to each other before. We froze, locking eyes. I gave her a confused hello, expecting her to say she was looking for me or coming to knock on my door. Instead, she just muttered a cold hey and brushed right past me in a rush. In that exact microsecond, the scent of my own shampoo hit my face. Her hair was soaking wet. She had literally just stepped out of the shower. I stood paralyzed outside my door for a solid 2 minutes before turning the key. When I touched the handle, my stomach dropped. The door was completely unlocked. I know for a fact I always double lock it. I ran into the bathroom and touched the shower walls. They were soaking wet. I hadn't showered there since the morning before. Fueled by adrenaline, I marched down to the 3rd floor and knocked on her door. She opened it with the security chains still on, showing only half of her face. I asked her flat out if she had been inside my apartment, telling her I saw her coming down and knew she was in there. She just replied, "I just had to get something. It won't happen again. Okay, bye," and slammed the door in my face. This happened last month. Since then, I've deep cleaned the place, changed the locks, and installed a motion sensor camera above my door that only triggers on my stairs, respecting everyone else's privacy. So far, so good. I don't think she's been back. But looking back, I'm pretty sure she had been coming in since January, which is my earliest memory of finding those hairs. She never stole anything of value, like my laptop or my watches. Apparently, she just came in to shower, eat my food, and sleep in my bed. I take the elevator now and avoid the 3rd floor like the plague. I just feel violated in my own personal space, like I was hosting a parasite without even knowing it. Update. Hey everyone. Here's the update following my post from last week. Since my cousin's husband is a police officer, I went directly to him for advice. He came over to my place, and I gave him a visual breakdown of what happened on the stairs. Even though I'd already cleaned up, he managed to find and bag a few stray hairs left behind. I gave him my official statement with the best timeline I could remember, and he advised me not to talk to the family at all to avoid messing up the investigation. 2 days later, he and his partner went down to the 3rd floor apartment on a Sunday, knowing both parents would be home. Long story short, the girl immediately burst into tears and confessed to absolutely everything the moment my friend warned her that entering someone else's home for 5 months, even with keys, is a serious felony that could easily land her in a prison cell, whether she stole anything or not. They talked with her and her parents in the living room for an hour and then came up to my place to give me the full breakdown. First, how did she get the keys? The locks in our building use a specific serial code on the barrel that only the manufacturer or approved locksmith can access. She contacted the exact same locksmith her family used years ago when they first moved in. She requested a copy claiming it was for her place, but gave him the serial for the 5th floor. The locksmith, out of pure negligence, assumed it was the same apartment and didn't double-check the floor. Just like that, she got an identical set of my keys. Why was she doing it? Her mom is a tutor who teaches from home, and she has 2 younger step-siblings. Her house was a chaotic nightmare. When she found out my girlfriend and I had broken up back in November, she saw the perfect opportunity. She would tell her parents she was heading to the college library, but instead, she was using my apartment as her own private hotel to study, relax, eat my food, wear my clothes, and sleep in my bed. To avoid getting caught, her stalking method was incredibly meticulous. My routine was predictable, but to be completely safe, she downloaded my gym's commercial app. She used it to monitor the facility's capacity in real time. If the counter went up by one around 6:30 a.m., she knew I was inside the gym and the coast was clear. She also connected to my Wi-Fi every time she entered. But the most twisted part of all was that the police found an Apple AirTag hidden underneath my car. She used it to track my exact movements. The day we crossed paths, she checked the app and saw I had left the gym, but my car wasn't moving toward work. She connected the dots and knew I was heading home. She bolted out of the shower, but didn't even have time to lock the door before we ran into each other on the stairs. Right now, her parents are completely devastated and ashamed. The dad came to my door to apologize in person, looking entirely broken. He explained that his daughter has always been extremely introverted and lacked social skills, heavily worsened by the isolation during the pandemic. He offered to pay for my new locks, the cameras, and the stolen food, but I turned it down. He asked if I was going to press charges, and I told him no. I gained nothing from sending a college student to jail, and the financial and emotional toll would just fall on her parents. However, I don't feel a single bit of sympathy for her. She's 20 years old. She knew exactly what she was doing, and there are 1,000 public spaces she could have gone to study instead of violating my privacy. I haven't seen her since. Her parents say she hasn't left her room in days out of sheer terror that I'll change my mind and report her. If I learned anything from this nightmare, it's this: check the connected devices on your Wi-Fi network more often. You might find a terrifying surprise.